Well, what a weekend it was for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Their first series at home, their first series sweep of 2026, looking flat out like the better baseball team over the Baltimore Orioles. Pittsburgh 5 wins in a row, 6-3 on the young 2026 season. And dare I say it, baseball is fun again in Pittsburgh. Jack Hillgrove, Don Sloan, Rich Donnelly. Gentlemen, as we break down this series, I don't know how you can't summarize it by saying simply this. The Pirates were the better team for 3 days at home to start their home slate in 2026.
I'll tell you, Jack, you couldn't have planned it any better. You've got Connor Griffin called up. The weather was fabulous for opening day. First opening day I can remember not getting snowed on, not freezing. And then every year you've got a couple games that you kind of got to pull out of the fire. Somehow they did that Saturday, and then yesterday, on the last game on Sunday, they flat out dominated.
Yeah, great atmosphere. Everybody had high expectations coming in, and the Pirates delivered. Their pitching, their starting pitching, as of today, is the best in baseball. Our fourth and fifth starters could be ones or twos on any other team, as of today. Now, I don't know what's going to happen down the road, but like a good friend of mine said, when the other teams look at the schedule and they miss Skenes, they go, oh, whew. Well, guess what? You're going to get Ashcraft and Chandler. How you like that? They're number one starters on other teams. So the starting pitching, the rotation has been unbelievable.
You go sweep the Orioles, no Skenes, no Chandler. You've got them up for the next series.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the way that this offense performed as well, right? I mean, Ryan O'Hearn, perhaps maybe a little bit of a revenge series for him as well. And he delivered 4 hits, a home run, a double, 5 RBI. O'Neal Cruz, tell you what, he had I don't want to call it a blunder in center field on Sunday, diving play that he might have been able to have, but if we're just going to compare the defense of O'Neal Cruz to that play, not too bad. He makes up for it in the bottom half of that inning with a home run, and he has a batting average above 300 to start the season. Brian Reynolds and Jake Mangum. How about Jake Mangum? 3 hits, couple of them infield singles, but he's kind of living up to his end of the bargain as well. Just a gritty baseball player with speed on the base paths, and you know the one guy that we didn't list there, guys, is Connor Griffin, who is struggling a little bit offensively to start his 2026 season and his MLB career. But the way I look at it is this. He's making contact with the ball. The challenge that he had on opening day was incredibly wise and was incredibly veteran-like for a 19-year-old player, and he's not striking out. Yes, the fastball and being able to catch up to the fastball is something that he's going to have to adjust to, but he's putting the ball in play. He's running hard to first base, it seems like, every single time, and he had a good defensive play on Sunday as well. So I anticipate Connor Griffin maybe to struggle a little bit offensively, but you're not going to see or feel any concern for what you're seeing out of Connor Griffin, especially at the plate. I just think it's going to take him a little bit longer to catch on. And
in a nice situation, they're not counting on him to carry this offense. In fact, they're not really counting on anybody because it's a number of different guys every day that come through. Even the speed, the bunts, the plays by Jake Mangum have been huge too, and that helped win the game on Saturday. Nick York with a big hit as well to drive in the game-winning run. This whole roster is contributing. Also, Rich, you've drawn a lot of walks, which is huge.
Absolutely. Your on-base percentage, that means you're having good at-bats. And if you watch every Pirate come up there, they've had very few at-bats where they give it away. They're taking the count to 3-2. They're taking a walk on the ball that's 3 inches outside. And this team so far, with their power stats, their home runs, which are the top 2 or 3 in baseball, I hate to say it because it's so early, they remind me shades of the lumber company of the 70s, where you got 7 or 8 guys who can hit home runs or doubles, and that's what this team has done in the first 9 games.
And they've got strong pitching, and Keller, Mlodzinski, Ashcraft, Jack, all strong starts out of the gate over the weekend for the home opening series.
I can be tough to please at times, and if I'm going to poke holes in what I saw starting pitching-wise this weekend, it'll be in Carmen Mlodzinski's start on Saturday. The knock on him is, he gets through the lineup one time, looks great. Second and third time is when he has trouble. That's what happened on Saturday in his start, only going 4 2/3, gave up 2 runs, 5 hits, did have more strikeouts than walks, but man, Braxton Ashcraft, and I'm going to be honest with you, the most concerned I was about a starting pitcher in the Pirates rotation heading into the season was with Ashcraft, right? I mean, you saw at least Carmen Mlodzinski had starting rotation experience. Bubba Chandler got starting rotation experience at the end of last year. Asking Braxton Ashcraft to go from a long relief role for pretty much all of last season into a rotation, it's like, okay, can he handle it? And that stat line of 6 innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts on Sunday, he can handle it. The only starting rotation not to allow a home run so far in 2026, for as good as this offense has been, being able to just have a hit parade at times. The starting pitching has been as advertised, and that is what's made, in a small sample size, granted, but has made this baseball team as good as it's been through 9 games so far this season.
Yeah, and you look at that graphic that we have up on the YouTube TV side, you want to get Mlodzinski up to that 6 innings from that 4 1/3. So he hasn't done that yet. Because I think you'll see Keller and Ashcraft both bump into the seven inning mark.
Your rotation is not going to be perfect every time out. However, with the starters that the Pirates have, if they can get 4 quality starts out of every 5, it does 2 things. Number 1, helps you win games. Number 2, and I think more importantly over a long season, it enables DK to use the bullpen properly. Don't pitch guys because you don't have anybody. Don't pitch guys in a bullpen because your starter got knocked out in the 2nd inning. And for these guys to go, I say, I don't care what the stats say about this quality start. To me, a quality start is 6+. You go 6+, that's a heck of a deal. That's a heck of a deal. Then you could use your bullpen properly. And so far, our bullpen hasn't been overused, and guess what? They've been effective. But like Mlodzinski only went 4 innings, okay, the bullpen can pick him up that day because they're rested. All the other guys have went 6+. The bullpen can be used properly. You don't have to use Santana 3 days in a row. But this starting rotation, I'm excited about it because I tell you what, 4 and 5 are pretty darn good.
Well, next edition of Bucco Triple Play, we'll go to the bullpen. We'll talk to Matt Capps about this bullpen specifically. But up next in the National Gold and Silver Refinery Rich's Treasure Chest, Jack, we'll hear from Sean Casey, and I'm telling you, you don't want to miss that. Sean Casey, extremely entertaining, and then we'll go back later and hear more from Tim Kirkjian.
Coming from a fellow Baldwin Highlander, or from a Baldwin Highlander, I'm not going to give him too much grief for being an Upper St. Clair Panther. It's the Bucco Triple Play. Pirates fans, protect what matters most with Laudamus Communications and Security. From homes to businesses, their managed security systems are monitored 24/7 with built cutting-edge technology, giving you control, confidence, and even instant lockdown when it matters most. Laudamus Communications and Security, always connected, always protected. And it's brought to you by Just Right Home Care. We are hiring. Competitive wages, flexible hours, and paid travel expenses. Join our team of reliable and friendly caregivers by applying in person at 2197 National Road, Wheeling, or calling 304-233-1414 to set up an interview. The Bucco Triple Play is sponsored by National Gold and Silver Refinery. Gold is trading around $5,000 an ounce. Now it's time to sell your gold. Due to popular demand, the National Gold and Silver Refinery at the Holiday Inn in Weirton has expanded hours, open Monday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Fridays until 4 p.m. Get top dollar in cash from the team you can trust. It is the National Gold and Silver Refinery Rich's Treasure Chest, and as we dive in to the treasure chest for this installment of the Bucco Triple Play, we talk to a guy who has the first home run in PNC Park history, but not as a Pittsburgh Pirate. He would eventually become a Pittsburgh Pirate, but the first home run in ballpark history was him as a Cincinnati Red. Upper St. Clair's own Sean Casey, about what it was like to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates and then Jim Leyland's Detroit Tigers.
I always kid Case about being from, Upper St. Clair. I call it the 6-car garage people. And I tell them, all people down here in Steubenville, we walk to school. We don't take a car. So anyway, one of the greatest guys in the game, a great player. And we go back, we talk about opening day today, but the opening day that he had, it was 1998 at PNC.
No, it was 2001.
2001.
Yeah, 1998 was his first in the bigs, because if I remember, you got traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati and then got called up and made your debut with the Reds.
Yeah, I got traded 14 hours before opening day from the Indians to the Reds.
Yeah. Hey, Case, how many?
But to finish that, though, at PNC Park, Sean Casey, first hit, and it was a home run.
Yeah, the thing about Case that's more amazing, what'd you get, about 1,700 hits in the big leagues, maybe more?
Yeah, a little over 1,500.
Yeah, not one infield hit.
That's
Not a one.
That's
they were all
raking,
line
Rich.
drives.
Hey,
They were all line drives.
I'm a career 302 hitter with no infield hits. That's raking, guys.
That's it. You ain't lying. That's all line drives. There's no bunts. You never had to use the phrase "watch the bunt" with him. But I tell you what, man, he put the ball in play as good as anybody that ever played the game.
So with an opening home weekend series at PNC Park, take us back to that opening in the stadium, first hit, first home run at PNC Park, and being a Western Pennsylvania guy.
Well, just being from Pittsburgh, and you bleed black and gold. You really do. I mean, I thought the Pirates were the only team in the big leagues when I was growing up, and I was, watching Rich coach with Jimmy Leland and those guys back in the day with the Buccos in the 90s. That was kind of my team. Bonds, Bonilla, Van Slyke, Jay Bell, all those guys, Drabeck. Those were the teams that I really loved growing up. And, the dream of playing in the big leagues was something that I was, obviously striving for. And then once I made it, even playing at Three River Stadium was a little weird for me. it was one of the worst stadiums I played. I think I was a career 140 hitter at Three Rivers because I always felt like I was with my dad but I just happened to be in the dugout. You know what I mean? It was, I couldn't figure out how to hit at Three Rivers. It was so frustrating. So when PNC Park opened, I was like, oh, I got to turn the page with this whole Three Rivers stuff. And, it just turns out Cincinnati was opening up. As a matter of fact, a little trivia, a little history here. 3 days earlier, we opened up Miller Park too. And I got the first hit ever at Miller Park.
Wow.
It's a crazy, crazy story. 3 days later, we come to PNC Park. The Reds open up PNC Park. And I was hitting fourth that day, but I usually hit third. And I remember the first two guys got out. I think Larkin and Tucker got out. And then Todd Ritchie, the pitcher that day, got Dimitri Young 0-2. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to get up. And like somebody's going to get the first hit. I just want a chance to get it. Dimitri Young gets hit with an 0-2 cutter. I come up and I'm like, well, here it is. I got a shot to do it. If I do it, I do. If I don't, I don't. And I got a 1-1 cutter, I think, from Todd Ritchie. Kind of stayed up, and I end up, putting a good swing on it. And I was really just trying to hit a line drive up the middle, and it left my bat. And when it was going to right center as I was running to first, I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's gone. That's going to be a home run. So thinking about all my life going down to Three Rivers with my friends and my dad and him getting day game season ticket package because we couldn't afford it because we didn't have a 6-car garage like Rich said here in St. Clair. We watched all these left-handed hitters and thinking about the 70 tickets I left and all that and rounding those bases was one of the greatest moments of my life, being a Pittsburgher and hitting the first hit and home run at PNC Park and forever being able to tell my kids, hey, I know you have no idea that I played, but did you know that your dad got the first hit home run here at PNC Park?
Hey, Casey, to get a little bit serious, I know we don't get serious too much, but tell the fans, what was your mindset when you went to college? You went to Richmond, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your mindset there? Did you think you were going to be drafted? Did you think you were ever going to play in the big leagues like in your sophomore, junior year?
Well, Rich, backing it up a little bit, I didn't have any college scholarship offers. And I went to my dad one day, my senior year. I said, Dad, where's all the scouts? Where's all the
And rightly so. Yeah.
Yeah. I had nobody, you know what I mean? And it was, and listen, as soon as they saw me run, they just left. You know what I mean? They'd be like, all right, look at this guy. It looks like he's
That's why he had no infield hits.
Yeah.
like he's ice skating in quicksand. I'm like, yeah, but the balls are shooting the gaps. You know what I mean? So the only offer I had was University of Richmond. I did actually, Rich, in my mind, I thought, whatever way I got to go, I'm going to get to the big league somehow, or at least I'm going to get drafted. And it happened to be, I went to Richmond, it was really the Cape Cod League after my sophomore year. I was an all-star there. I led the league in hitting, led the league in RBIs, or I was second in hitting, led the league in RBIs. And then I think that's where the scouts were like, oh, this guy's a pretty good player. They didn't really mind the way I ran as long as I hit it bullets in the gap,
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we mentioned about going from the Indians like in 14 hours to the Reds and getting called up. How wild was that sequence?
Well, it was crazy because I had just hit 380 in AA and AAA the year prior, 1997. Really had nothing left to prove in the minors. And I was behind Jim Thome in Cleveland. And so I was getting at the end of camp. I was one of the last ones sent down. I think it was the last guy sent down. And I was going back to Buffalo. And Dwight Gooden that day was pitching in a AAA game against the Tigers. And he hurt his knee in like the 4th inning. So when the bus ride home, Mark Shapiro grabbed me and turned, the phone on. John Hart came on and said, "We got good news and bad news. Bad news is you're getting traded. The good news is you're going to the big leagues with the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow." So it was a whirlwind of a 24 hours of me, getting traded. And then all of a sudden I was in Cincinnati for opening day.
We sent you video of that we're going to show. And how old were you? You looked very young.
I was 23
Yeah,
years.
wow.
Yeah. Just turned. I have no idea. I was 23 years old. Yeah.
You're getting the autograph signed though. That looked good.
Oh yeah. I was signing autographs and it was, it was just
He was signing autographs for them every day. They were signing for him. They were signing for him.
No, it was great. Yeah. I look back at that opening day. You just can't believe that you're in a big league uniform, and people want your autograph. So it was a welcome to the big leagues moment for me.
And what did it mean when then later on you came back and you played for the Pirates?
Yeah. Well, I'd always wanted, that was a real dream come true. Cause I always wanted to, play for the Buccos. And like I said, that was my team growing up. I remember being on deck, or remember the opening day there coming out, being introduced. That was such a great moment. And I also remember that on opening day, looking down at my jersey, having Pittsburgh across it, thinking, man, I mean, this is my city. And this is, it was just so excited to be playing for them. And then when I saw our pitching staff, I'm like, we're in trouble. Let me see if Leland, I'm going to see if Leland could get me to Detroit with him, and I can get Pirates, just another form of the Pirates, but in Detroit.
All right. We have a segment on this show, and it's the National Gold and Silver Refinery Rich's Treasure Chest. So Rich reaches back into his treasure chest of all these great stories and so forth. The only problem we have sometimes, Rich has this World Series ring and his Olympic gold medal, and I think he keeps wanting to find out how much money he can get for them. But no, you can't take those to the Gold and Silver Refinery. But I'm sure you two have plenty of treasures to talk about.
Well, I worked with Jim for 14 years. Case played for him in Detroit, and I know, and I know he has a great story. We're going to hold that for a minute, but the first one about Jim, Case, tell about Jim's rants when he rants. And everybody thinks he's done ranting.
Oh my God. The best. I mean, I wish everyone in the world could experience Jim Leland's rants, but obviously Rich knows what he would come out. I remember one time we're playing Cleveland. I believe it was Paul Bird. Paul Bird was pitching and he was 85 to 88, just kind of sinking it, cutting it, curveball, just getting everyone up balance. I think we had like a 3-hitter. He dominated us complete game. We got dominated, and Don Slott was our hitting coach back then. Donnie used to have these like ping pong balls, like number 7, red, green. He'd flip them to you and hit, and all this stuff. Remember, Leland comes in. He's like, "We just got our asses." Can I say that? Sorry, we just got our butts whipped by an American Legion pitcher. An American Legion pitcher just complete game shutout us. He goes. And he goes off. He goes back to his office, and no one really moves because everyone knows he's coming back. Here he comes. He comes back, and he's like, "And one more thing, we got ping pong balls bouncing out our butts, and we can't even hit an American Legion pitcher. That complete game shutout, throwing 85 miles an hour. You got to be kidding me." Goes back to his office. He comes back again, and this famous line, Rich, when he's like, "And one more thing," he's like, "Listen." He goes, "If you guys go out tonight, you got to be careful because you might just get arrested for impersonating baseball player." He walks off.
And that's him, right to the T. That's it. Hey, Case, tell the story about the time you got hit by a pitch in Detroit.
Oh yeah, I'm in Detroit. It's a day game. And who was I facing? Gavin Floyd. Gavin Floyd. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
94, 98. Good stuff. Little cutter. So I'm in there. It's like my second at bat. I'm locked in, and he throws me an inside cutter, and it started right down the middle. And Rich, this thing just starts tracking me like a Scud missile. I'm like, I can't. It hits my back elbow. I'm like, oh my God. I go down. I'm like, whole body is completely numb. left side of my body's numb. But at that point, my body's numb. And so I'm like, I literally can't move for a second. So I'm like, I'm trying, and listen, I in my mind, I know Leland's the manager. So I'm like, I got to get going to first. Like, I don't need him coming out here, but I'm like, I can't move. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So Leland comes out, after he could tell I can't move. He's like, hey, can you go? Are you good? You good? Can you go? I'm like, yeah, I can go. I can't feel the left side of my body, but I think I can go. So I run down to first base, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I hope I can't feel my elbow, my shoulder, my leg. Like I can't believe I can run, but I'm just gutting it out, because Rich, you don't want Skip to give him any reason to take you out of the lineup, right? So I'm like, oh. So I go down to first, and I'm like, another out, another. So the end of the inning comes, and I'm still completely numb. Well, it's my glove hand, and I can't even lift my arm. So I'm like, I'm going to wear one in the teeth if I go out there. I'm going to actually hurt the team. So at the end of every inning, Leland would go down the stairs. Back in the day when he was with Rich, he could rip him in the dugout, and then Major League Baseball was like, is Jim Leland ripping heaters in the dugout? We might have to call a red flag on that one. So he stopped doing that, but he would go down these steps and behind the dugout, have his chair going, and he just rips them. He try and get 2 heaters in before the inning ended or whatever, the half inning. So I go to Gene Lamont. I go, Gino, I go, hey man, I can't go. I was like, I can't lift my arm. My whole body, my whole left side's numb. I don't think I can go back out and play first base. He's like, all right. He's like, all right. He's like, all right, go tell Skip. I go, you go tell Skip. That's why I'm telling you, because you're his best friend. You go tell. I go, it's like a pit bull eating a ribeye down there with that heater. I'm not going down to tell him, I need to come out of the game. So I'm like, oh my God. He's like, well, you got to tell him, Case. I'm like, oh my God. So I go down there. He's got his head down. He's just crushing this cigarette's the only thing alive that he's focused on right now. And I'm like, Skip. And Rich, he doesn't even react to me. There's no one else in the world, but I'm literally right next to him yelling, hey, Skip. Finally on the third, hey, Skip, he go, hey, whoa, like I startled him, whoa, like he was sleepwalking. He looks at me, I go, Skip, I can't feel the left side of my body. I can't lift my arm. I don't think I can go back out to first base. Son of a... He's like, all right. He's like, all right, tell Gino to get Tim's ready. Get Tim's out there to first. He's like, you go up there and get your elbow iced. I'm like, all right. So I'm still so rattled with this conversation. I go to walk away. He goes, hey, one more thing, Case. He goes, don't ever bother me again when I'm smoking a heater. I'm like, I said, that's what I was telling Gene. You tell him. Why would I tell him?
The best of all time. That's the best. Hey, Sean, this opening day, there's renewed enthusiasm with the Buccos. They've improved their team. Then yesterday they made the big splash with Connor Griffin. What's it like to be in a city, even like Pittsburgh, and feel the vibe this early in the year? I said the people that know best whether this team is trying to win are the guys in the clubhouse. And when you make a promotion like Griffin, then you sign him, what does that do to that clubhouse?
Well, I think first off, Rich, I think they did a great job in the offseason, Ben Cherington going to get the bats they needed. Brandon Lau, they signed Ryan O'Hearn. They bring in Ozuna. Obviously, Connor Griffin's been talked about coming up. But I also think the vibe that Donnie Kelly has set. I've heard that it's such a positive vibe around spring training. The guys are loving being there, And I was with Skenes at the WBC. I was the hitting coach for the WBC, so I was around Paul for 2.5 weeks. Man, you can feel that guy is the real deal, a real leader and a real winner. And you could feel the fact that he couldn't wait to get back to the Bradenton with those guys. He felt like there's something going on here. And so now with Connor Griffin getting called up and them signing him to a 8-9 year deal, which is incredible for such a 19-year-old kid, there's real stuff happening. This is Connor Griffin's the number one prospect in baseball. Like not like number 17, 18, just the number one guy in baseball. This is a baseball wide thing. I work at MLB Network. I know the guys at MLB Network are fired up that Connor Griffin's getting called up. It's a national thing. So if you add his bat, and his defense is short, man, you could have something special here with this team. And hopefully, I think the biggest thing so far, Rich, they're hitting the ball at the ballpark. You can't win in this game nowadays stringing together 3, 4, 5 hits and looking at rallies. You got to be able to put the ball in the seats, and this team's doing it.
And that's a stat that surprised me the other night. I looked, the Pirates are tied for first in the most home runs hit so far in the big league season.
Wow, that's great.
Tied for first. So we're so excited here about the Pirates, and this young pitching is outstanding. But, and you take the MLB network, they're doing the opening game. They're showing that today to a national audience. Pirates Mets opening day game on it, and first game on NBC. The national perception. What do you see as the national perception outside of Pittsburgh?
Well, I mean, you got two of the most exciting players. Let's put it this way. Paul Skenes is the reigning Cy Young, probably the best pitcher in baseball. You got the number one prospect in Connor Griffin coming up, 19 years old. I mean, that's excitement. If you're a baseball fan, you can't win. In comparisons to Trout and some other great young players, like there's some real buzz around the Pirates now because they feel like with the staff and with the moves that they've made, they got a chance. That Central's wide open. I mean, you look at the Central last year, I mean, the Reds got in with 83 wins. I think it's going to take more than that this year, probably 86, 87. But that's 1 week away from, really getting that push. And also, when you look at the Pirates last year, I believe they had 35 one-run losses. And I think with the offense they have this year, and also Brian Reynolds is off to a nice start, hitting the ball at the ballpark out there in Cincinnati. O'Neal Cruz had 3 home runs in the last 2 games. I mean, if those guys end up playing close to what they could with these new acquisitions, the Pirates could be a real problem for the other teams out here in the big leagues.
Yeah, I think going down this season, they got a good formula. The old Baltimore Orioles used to back in the day. Starting pitching and hit some home runs will take you a long way. And like you said, the game has changed. We're not butting like we used to. They're not stealing bases like we used to. What we're doing is getting a hit, getting a home run, getting a 2-run homer, a 3-run homer. And like you said, there's been more homers hit by the Pirates than anybody else in baseball. That's absurd for what we've been accustomed to. So off to a good start. I think they got an excellent chance of getting to 500, maybe a couple games over. And I'll tell you what, man, you look at these other teams, like you said, once you get into playoffs, I'll take the Pirates starting pitching against anybody.
Right. You just got to get in. If you can get in and you can match up Skenes in a 7-game series, got a real problem. Whoever's facing the Buccos got a real problem.
Do you have gold or unwanted jewelry? Now is the time to sell. Due to popular demand, the National Gold and Silver Refinery at the Holiday Inn in Weirton is open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Fridays until 4, with gold trading around $5,000 an ounce. Now is the time to sell. Great stuff from a former Pirate and a former 300 hitter across Major League Baseball for his career, Sean Casey. Coming up, we take a look at the San Diego Padres series. We continue our Around the Central. We continue our 3 up and our 3 down, and we get more Connor Griffin thoughts from Tim Kirkjian. All that and more on the Bucco Triple Play. Just Right Home Care is another sponsor of the Bucco Triple Play. If you're looking for compassionate, reliable care for a loved one in the Wheeling area, Just Right Home Care is here to help. Their dedicated team provides personalized in-home support from daily assistance and companionship to specialized care so your family member can stay safe and comfortable at home. With a focus on dignity, respect, and peace of mind, Just Right Home Care treats every client like family. Learn more today because the right care makes all the difference. Just Right Home Care, 304-233-1414. In life-changing moments, you need a lawyer who's ready to stand firm. Mike Noguet has over 40 years of courtroom experience securing results in personal injury, medical malpractice, and serious criminal defense cases across West Virginia, Ohio, and PA. That's Weirton attorney Mike Noguet Law, where your fight is his fight. So the last episode of the Bucco Triple Play podcast, we reacted in real time when we were recording the news, not just of the Pirates season so far, but the news of the Major League Baseball season so far. Connor Griffin being called up and being a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that 9-year, $140 million extension not confirmed yet, but it seems like that is trending in the right direction, and things are looking up for the Buccos. The call-up of Connor Griffin, and now we have more of our interview with ESPN Major League Baseball analyst Tim Kirkjian. He provides his thoughts on the top prospect in baseball, Connor Griffin, and another young Pirates standout who's poised for an even bigger role in 2026. That's Pirate starter Bubba Chandler.
Well, I think the national media and all of baseball looks at the Pirates and says, all right, this is a team on the rise. They're going in the right direction. It's going to take some time, but Ryan O'Hearn, Brandon Lau, they added some offense, which they desperately needed to do because this was a way subpar offensive team the last few years, which is why Paul Skenes only won, 10, 11, 12 games because he didn't get any support. But everybody in the world knows how good their young pitching is, starting with Paul Skenes and others now on the way. And, of course, they have Connor Griffin on the way. And I got a quick look at him in spring training. The power is ridiculous. And in the John Baker interview, which runs today on our podcast, Is This a Great Game or What? He kind of details who Connor Griffin is. And Connor Griffin came to the coaching staff basically when he was 19 years old this spring and said, you need to know something about me. I'm at my best when you make it as difficult as you can for me. The harder you make it, the better I will be. So here is a young kid who is saying, make it tough on me, be tough on me, and that's when I thrive. People around the game are looking at the Pirates and saying, all right, they've got something going here, but it's going to take some time still. And when it's over, they need to have Connor Griffin at shortstop, and they need to have Paul Skenes signed long-term. That second part's going to be a little bit harder.
Now, could we see the Pirates sign Griffin long-term? Just the Mariners just signed Colt Emerson, 8 years, $95 million. Cooper Pratt, Brewers, 8 years, nearly $51 million. Those just happened this week. That's a trend, signing these guys before they make it to the big leagues. Can the Pirates get that done with Connor Griffin?
I would certainly try. I mean, this is, like you said, Don, this is the trend in Major League Baseball. Find a really young guy and lock him up and get him through all his arbitration years and even get him into his first free agent year, because nothing sends a better message to your fan base than we've got this guy long term.
If they got to the playoffs and you had to face Skenes and Keller and maybe Jones or Ashcraft or Chandler, that's the way you build a team. You build it with that pitching first, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. And John Baker told us a story about Bubba Chandler, who's got a chance to be not good, but great. So he shouted out loud, "Oh my gosh, did you see who we drafted? We drafted Paul Skenes." This is, of course, a few years ago. And one of the coaches, John, might have said, so yeah, that's great. And Bubba Chandler had already figured out, there's a chance I will end up at AAA with him. Therefore, I will be a teammate with Paul Skenes. This is a guy who had just been drafted. That's the kind of impact Paul Skenes had on the organization before he even got there, that young pitchers were thinking, I might get to be a teammate with him. So all those guys you mentioned, I mean, Jones has a chance to be great. We know that. Keller's really improved. Chandler, Skenes, others. It's a pretty good collection. And you're right. You win in the postseason with dominant starting pitching, and they have a chance to do that.
Well, hey, we appreciate your time and appreciate you taking part in the Bucco Triple play. We really enjoyed this.
Well, my pleasure, fellas. And anytime I can do anything with my pal Rich Donnelly, count me in.
Tim, thanks a lot. Good luck, man. Good luck with your podcast, and we'll see you along the way.
And the name of the podcast again?
What's the name of your podcast again?
It's called Is This a Great Game or What?
After the book, right?
You can find it anywhere. I can't find it anywhere because I'm 70 years old and I can't find anything. But yeah, it's out there. Just look.
Great stuff there. Thank you to Tim Kirkjian for joining us on the Bucco Triple Play podcast. All right, now as we take a look ahead to series number 4 of the 2026 season for the Pittsburgh Pirates, another home one. And it'll be the first time that the fans inside PNC Park will get a chance to see Paul Skenes pitch at home this season, but he's not going until Tuesday. It's the Pirates and the San Diego Padres. Let's take a look at those pitching matchups in this one, starting on Monday night with German Marquez against Bubba Chandler. Now, I think the Pirates have the pitching matchup in this one. You take a look at Bubba Chandler's first start, 6 shutout innings. Marquez only goes 3 and gives up 4 earned runs. So on paper, right now, Chandler, I feel like the edge in the pitching matchup. But Marquez, a veteran. Here's the money matchup of the 3-game set. Paul Skenes against Nick Pivetta, but in 2 starts so far for Nick Pivetta, a 6.75 ERA. That 9.53 earned run average for Skenes incredibly inflated due to that opening day performance. I'm going to give the pitching matchup to Pittsburgh in that one as well. And then Michael King against Mitch Keller on Wednesday. Tell you what, though, if you look at the 2 starts apiece for Pivetta and King, not as good as the 2 starts so far for Keller and for Paul Skenes. So you look at this pitching matchup on paper, these 3 pitching matchups on paper, I think the Pirates have the edge in the starting pitching, but this is where things can get dicey. This San Diego Padres lineup, who's been off to a slow start so far this season, it's incredibly talented. Fernando Tatis, Xander Bogaerts, Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Ramon Laureano, former Pirate Miguel Andujar, Gavin Sheets, Jack Cronenworth, and Luis Campusano, I should say, as we take a look at the San Diego Padres lineup on paper. Again, Tatis, Bogaerts, Merrill, Machado, 1, 2, 3, 4, just an absolute gauntlet. And again, the bottom half of this lineup provides insurance for the San Diego Padres as well. So even though I think the Pirates starting pitchers are better in this series than the Padres, they're definitely going to have their work cut out for them, and mainly due to that top of the lineup with Tatis, Bogaerts, Merrill, and Machado. Formidable top 4 and a good test for these Pirates starting pitchers. 3 up, 3 down. What's trending across Major League Baseball? We get into the 3 of us each picking 1 up. What's trending up around Major League Baseball? What's trending down around Major League Baseball? We start with our ups, and we start with Don Sloan. Not only the catch of the weekend, Don, but probably the catch of the season.
Oh, my goodness. Joe Adele, Rob, not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs. And as Jack said, the best was for last. He caught it. He goes over the wall, comes up and has the baseball. Joe Adele, that's my 3 up.
Rich Donnelly.
Yeah, I'm going to go to our hometown boy, Calvin Biggerstaff, who had his debut pitching in high A ball in the Red Sox organization for the Greenville Drive. 3 scoreless innings, no walks. He's a strike thrower. When he was at Kent State, he led the nation in throwing strikes. Great start, and I truly believe he keeps doing this. We're going to be seeing Calvin on TV shortly.
My up is Tony Vitello. This is a trend that I hope continues across Major League Baseball. Vitello, a very successful national championship winning head baseball coach in college at Tennessee, gets the San Francisco Giants managerial job this season. It's his first year. I put him on as my up this week because he gets ejected from his first Major League Baseball game ever as a big league manager. Got to set the tone, got to fire the guys up, and he did it there. I love college baseball. Division I NCAA college baseball, especially when you get into the College World Series, is a phenomenal product, incredibly fun to watch, and there's a lot of good coaches out there. So maybe Vitello is a pioneer for head baseball coaches at the D1 level to make their way into managing in the big leagues. He's with the Giants. All right, 3 down. Carl Jensen for the Royals, Don Sloan.
Yeah, your Major League rookie season, and you're going to start at catcher, and you don't set your alarm, and you fall asleep, and you miss your start. Not so good.
Rich Donnelly.
This kills me. This hurts me to my soul. The Florida Marlins fans on the second game of the year had 6,000 people there. Your team got off to a great start. You saw Alcantara, first complete game in the big leagues on opening day in a number of years. Come out and see your team play. You got a nice bunch of players down there. 6,000 for the second game. It hurts me to say it, but they're my down.
My down is Chris Bassett. Now, this came in the Pirates game, but anytime that you take 100+ miles an hour exit velocity off of any part of your body. Luckily, he was able to stay in the game for the Orioles and for his team's sake. But Oneil Cruz, that comebacker right up the middle, again, the exit velo was like 103 or 104. It did bounce, which saved him, but hit him right in the back of the leg. That did not feel good. And he also didn't have a very good start that day. So Chris Bassett, unfortunately, my down in our 3 up, 3 down. Around the Central we go. The Brewers, what a start to the season for them. For as much as we've talked about the Pirates and their Great start to 2026. The Brewers, a game better than the Buccos and the Reds. But the Cardinals 5-4. And this is why Major League Baseball is an 162-game slate. Everybody thought that the Chicago Cubs were going to win the division. They still have very much a chance to do so. But through 9 games in, they just happen to be 4-5 and are right now in last place in the Central. Something tells me that won't change. Some headlines. Cade Horton placed on the 15-day injured list. Seiya Suzuki is going to be activated at the start of the Cubs and Pirates series. That's a big deal because Seiya Suzuki's been a phenomenal outfielder and a bat in that lineup for the last several years. Mason Wynn back in the lineup after a car accident after 2 days. Good to see that for the Cardinals. And Reds starting pitcher Nick Lodolo remaining on the IL with an issue with a blister problem. I've had blisters. They suck. And if you're a starting pitcher with a blister problem, I can imagine that that's not very pleasant either. So hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Coming up this week on the Major League Baseball on Fox, Red Sox and Cardinals on Saturday at 7 p.m. And then on the 18th, it's the Braves at the Phillies in an NL East matchup. Tigers and Reds on Saturday, April 25th. At 7 p.m. That's the Major League Baseball on Fox slate for the next couple of Saturdays. And Sunday Night Baseball on NBC and Peacock. Catch the Guardians on NBC this Sunday, April the 12th, against the Atlanta Braves. Braves-Phillies was on Fox Saturday the 18th. They go to NBC, or Peacock rather, on the 19th for Sunday Night Baseball, and the Angels at the Royals on the 26th. That is the NBC and Peacock slate for Sunday Night Baseball through April 26th. Dare I say it, baseball in Pittsburgh is fun yet again, just 9 games into the season, but I can't help but think that it's impossible to not have fun watching these guys play baseball.
No, this team is fun to watch, and we hope it continues. Next show, who are we going to hear from?
Good start. We're going to hear from Matt Capps, one of our top relievers in Pirate history, and now broadcaster for the Pirates, a great guy, funny guy, and a guy I got the pleasure to coach back in the day.
And Eduardo Perez from SiriusXM Radio in the leadoff spot, and ESPN and the MLB Network.
Yeah, one of the top analysts in baseball. I got the pleasure of coaching with his dad, Hall of Famer Tony Perez. Eduardo was a #1 pick out of Florida State, great player. Now he's turned into one of the best analysts on TV.
We can't wait for the next one. It is the Bucco Triple Play.